Some say that the Altair Museum of Antiquities is itself as much a piece of history as the many relics of art and science held within its crumbling walls. But crumbling walls they are no more, because the Empire has stepped in. And everyone is quite excited.
Well, not everyone.
So, Perrin is a scientist of some regard, and they like to keep to themselves.
Why, Hearttakers, looking for the big story for tonight. Why the change?
Phlanagin Harlock lived his life on the streets. Tonight, he knows what he's got to do.
Tonight, we say goodbye to the Altair Museum of Antiquities and hello to the Imperial Heritage Museum.
And I suppose, you're all here to, steal scathe the Scepter, nay?
I would love for us to not talk about stealing things out in public.
Dwight's just gonna keep writing.
You see the silhouette slowly sink.
It, was looking at me, and I was looking at it.
Am I opening this door? Absolutely not.
Oh, what unspeakable wonders await you.
In the Blight. At the museum. You guys have all made your way into the gala event with the goal of stealing this thing called the Scepter of the Forgotten, which is like the main piece in this new exhibit. You saw some strange things in the hallway, fought a creepy version of Gary, and you decided you were going to go into the catacombs. As you made your way down this spiral staircase into the catacombs, which you, Phlanagin, and you, Perrin, are fairly familiar with. You both have been down here many times before, usually not together. Office hours and not office hours.
Visiting hours is what we call it.
Yeah.
Trespassing.
Yeah, get the giggles out while you can.
Oh, God.
I asked all of you to make a charisma saving throw when you started to make your way down into this area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anyone rolled higher than a 10.
Nope. It was a good 8, 9, 10. It was great.
Having all failed your charisma saving throw, making your way down into the basement, there was a shift in the air that you all felt. Stepping through one of the many passageways that sprawl throughout underneath the city of Altair as well as the museum, you saw a figure emerge, an old man hunched over with a large staff, and atop that staff, a single candle. And he looked up at you, and in Old Imperial, he said, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." And he starts shuffling towards you.
Do any of us know Old Imperial? Or is it like a dialect?
It's like a dialect.
Kind of like Shakespearean talk, I guess. Alright.
Dwight rolls his eyes.
Hello, who are you? Should you be down here?
It's dangerous down here without the lights on. How did you even get in here? And he's just marching towards you.
The stairs right behind us, and I turn around. Are the stairs still there?
The stairs are still there.
Yeah, these stairs right here.
You hear a voice behind you say, "I don't know."
What?
Behind you, you see a child. Shaggy black hair, ragged clothes. They look frightened, dirty. My goodness. And he walks right past you guys. And he takes the candelabra staff and he holds it up to the wall. And fum, fum, fum. These little plumes of light appear almost like LED lights across the ceiling of the tunnel. illuminating it. Phlanagin, Perrin, you have never seen anything like this down here before.
Hey, guys, what's going on here? What is?
Can you
what's
help
happening?
me, please? I suppose. Come with me, quickly.
I go over to like touch the old man's shoulder.
Your hand passes right through him.
Nope.
And both him and the child just fade into dust as the old man with his candlestick staff starts walking the child away.
Could I do detect magic, please?
You can. And by the way, those illuminated lights, they're still there.
Perrin sort of adjusts their jam jar kind of glasses and mutters to themselves, and the beetles in their pouch sort of start buzzing, and a few of them sort of start flying around and zipping around as sort of like testing areas.
Disgusting.
One landing on like Dwight and getting up the nose.
That's not okay.
I'm too transfixed by this vision at the moment.
Where that string of lights is, that seems like it is glowing with some sort of magic or something. Nothing picked up off of that. The place where the old man lit the candle against the wall, there is a faint glow from behind the stonework. But that's not what piques your interest.
Oh.
What piques your interest are two very strong pulses. One, down the catacombs along the path that you have been going, the one that right now there are lights on for some reason. On the first right, which is an area that you know is essentially, if the storage area upstairs is full, people put stuff down here. Where there are like extra crates, old paintings, stuff that is probably never going to see the light of day again, but they want to just keep. There is like a pulse of light that emanates out from under that door. But the last thing is that there is a strange void for just a moment that emanates out from Dwight.
A void?
Yeah, it's like if detect magic is a faint, colorful aura that spreads across all things around you, illuminating the magical objects, Dwight is cast in shadow.
You know, one of those good old magic black holes.
Dwight's just writing. All right, strange little boy. Strange.
Sure.
Dwight, this isn't strange. This is some crazy magic. We're watching. What do we want? Is this an alternate reality? Is this past? Is this future? Are we looking at the future here?
I don't know.
Phlanagin starts losing it slowly but surely. I don't think he'll make it.
I have started losing it back when we were fighting sweet mouth zombie Gary up there.
My beans have told me something a little bit interesting, though. There's a fond of energy coming from behind that door, maybe linked. Maybe we should go and have a look.
I thought we were trying to find the Scepter.
I want to know who has been fucking around down here, honestly. I don't know. It's,
Story. Yes.
Do you have any idea who that old man was at all, Perrin?
I've never seen him before.
I mean, can I do a history check on whether what they were wearing or anything rings a bell?
Could I also do that?
Yeah.
Dwight's not into fashion.
Ooh, I got a dirty 20.
I got 12.
Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
You are a natural historian. You have, for a long time, most of your life, devoted it to the study of bones, of animals, and how they have changed over time. You are not an anthropologist. But anyone that studies the history of this area is somewhat familiar with older religions, with the people who worshipped here before the Empire in its current state, where worship and science and paying homage to the gods or expressing yourself through pushing the boundaries of magic were not dissimilar things. The vestments that old man was wearing were old imperial vestments, when a mage and a priest were not so dissimilar.
I will give a very boring and dry talk to Phlanagin and Dwight.
Dwight's right now all down. He's super interested.
And maybe there's something residual magic, and we're being affected by it. I don't know what else it might be affecting.
All we need to know is if they're a threat to us, or if we're about to walk into some sort of ancient trap of some kind. I mean, I've been through here plenty. I've never seen anything like what we just saw, ever.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like an echo, or like a shadow of what used to be. I think we're
Some arcane feedback.
Yes, Dwight. Yes, exactly. Have you ever thought about following academia?
Phlanagin, can you roll me a investigation or perception check?
Hell yeah.
Dead god chooses to sacrifice.
Baby. That's 19 plus 6, 25.
Oh, nice.
As Dwight and Perrin are going back and forth on what's gonna happen, you keep coming back to this idea that why are you here?
Yeah.
You wanted to help Victoria. This museum is also not unknown to you. It's a special place to you. It has been for a long time. And this is weird stuff. You don't care about the academia of what's going on. You need to figure out what needs to get done. You want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's cool. Maybe you and I, Perrin, we can figure out how to get there. But do I know exactly which direction we need to go to get to this closed off wing?
The direction to go off to the closed off wing is the main corridor, which right now is illuminated. And as that's clicking in your mind, thinking about how are they here but not magical, like what is going on, you hear a sound with that roll. Coming from the room, the extra storage room, you hear, shh, 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 someone's coming.
You guys probably have started to understand that I can't really refuse an interesting door. So I'm going to go check this out real quick. And I'm going to stealth over there and open it sneakily.
Do be careful. I do feel like there's something quite powerful behind that
well, in
door.
that case, Perrin, why don't you open it since...
Me? What? No. You're fine. You go ahead and open it. Yes, I trust you. I'm just gonna.
Information like that is important before I open the door. BT done.
Yes, you had. Yes. I'm glad I told you.
I have nothing but faith in you, Flanagan. Any last words? I mean, any words before you open this door or anything?
Remember me for my massive talent. Okay.
This door is an old ka-chunk push-down handle.
Uh-huh.
Slowly twist that handle, and it doesn't go all the way. This door is locked.
I pull out my thieves' tools. I'm going to get to work.
I was going to say, do I have a key for that or not anymore?
Oh, yeah, wait.
I might have a key.
With us.
I'm just so used to my keys.
Perrin, you have not had access to this storage room since the military took over the museum.
Yeah, I had a feeling they probably revoked my access.
They got good stuff.
Sorry, I can't help you, Phlanagin.
I'm gonna pull out my keys. So 14.
You take out your lockpicks. You finagle it. The door is old, but this lock is new. This was put in by the military, which in this situation is actually a benefit because it's not an old, rusted, archaic lock. It's pretty standard and honestly probably subpar, mass-produced kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty easily you ka-chunk, get it open, and as you creak the door open, you can hear the voice of two children talking.
If one starts giggling, I'm out. I'm done.
And you hear one say, "We're not supposed to be in here. It doesn't matter. This is where all the good stuff is. Teacher's going to be really upset with us. This is where it comes from."
Can I pinpoint where they are?
Peeking in the door, you see several rows of bookshelves. Old, tall shelves with thick tomes, leather-bound, very nice-looking, all sorts of languages and names, and you see on the far side of the room 2 children sitting with a couple candles, wearing like students' robes, and they're looking over a book. One of the children seems to be very nervous about them being there. He keeps looking up in your direction, but sort of through you. But the other child, one with shaggy black hair, they are transfixed on the book.
The same black hair as before.
Similar.
Maybe the same kid, but a bit older.
Huey, I think that we really should go. This is the book from my dreams.
Oh, no.
And as he says that, they sort of fade to dust. All of those old bookcases shift, and you see barely the foundations of them that are left that have been reformatted into stacks that once held paintings and objects. But this room that is supposed to hold the excess artifacts from the museum, art, that sort of thing, is completely empty, except for one crate in the middle of the room.
No, this is a trap. No, no. So there's one chest in the middle of the room.
If you find a book with a face screaming at you, I advise you not to pick it up.
The crate is marked with military insignia.
So Perrin's going to kind of have come up behind Phlanagin.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Ghost.
My bad.
Is she just like squatting down, like right behind you, just like,
See anything interesting? What?
Did Perrin see that at all?
Just as everything was sort of cascading away.
Oh, great. Okay, so I'm just going insane. That's awesome. I love that so much. Perrin, you saw those 2 kids, right? The 2 kids, the division that was in here just like a half a second ago.
Are they behind the grate?
No, they were. It was a whole room. This whole room was like they got stuff everywhere, and these 2 kids they were looking at a book, and then it all disappeared. Now there's a crate. Is that crate the thing that you were worried about me opening the door and seeing?
Cinder, is that obviously my detect magic is still going? Is that what's humming?
Mm-hmm. And it is not the crate, it is something inside the crate.
Yes, there's something inside it that I'm awfully curious about now.
Welcome to my world.
I don't want to get too close to it. 'Cause with my swarm, with obviously like the crate can't do a strength saving throw, but they can move things up to 15 feet technically. Would they have enough force to open the crate?
Oh, yeah, I think that makes sense. Why don't you roll me a d20 and add your wisdom plus your proficiency bonus?
18.
You send out your little beans, and they scurry along the floor, make their way up the crate, and sort of working as one, you see hundreds and hundreds of them start squeezing inside the seams around the lid, and millions of little legs all go at once, and the top just sort of pops up.
That is impressive. You should do that, like, with people's orifices and whatnot.
Oh, you think? That's I mean, this is why I have them. You see, I use them to strip the carcasses. They're very handy. Yes.
No, I'm aware. I've seen your work before. It's very clean. I don't like seeing the sausage made, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. This is one
What's
of the
in there?
reasons Everyone kind of.
Dwight, you're gonna want to come see this.
Nope. I can see right from over here.
I'm going to tentatively sidle over to the crate and peek my head in.
Inside the crate, you see 4 tall, thin barrels, and stamped atop the lid of each of the 4 barrels, 3 letters, SAP.
I knew it.
The military might be storing some sap in the bowels of the museum. And for folks that don't know, sap is a highly potent magical agent that acts as an accelerant and an amplifier of magic. The amount of sap here is a dangerous amount of sap. If errant magic was to go off and connect with that sap, there's enough force here to take down a good chunk of the building.
How much would Phlanagin know about the properties of sap? Explosive wise, safe to travel with wise, potentially lifting one of these and putting it in his backpack wise.
Any of you, if you want to, can make an Arcana check.
Can Dwight walk up slowly and terrified? And he's like, oh, this is big. If this is what I think it is, and he's going to cast Identify as a ritual.
Ah, fun.
I got a 10 on Arcana.
17 on Arcana.
Let's go through it. So, Phlanagin, with your 10 in Arcana, yeah, you know basically what I just said about sap, because that is just something that you would know. But other than that, you don't know anything.
Same way in real life, that's what I know about nitroglycerin, right? Like, I know it's important. I know literally nothing else about it. I know it explodes and it was used in vertical horizon or something like that.
Perrin, you know that it's probably very dangerous that this is down here, and that sap is a military tool. It's a warfare tool. It's not something that people use casually.
Some napalm down here, boys.
Dwight Hearttaker, for the briefest of moments, there is nothing in this catacomb but you and these barrels underneath a strange dark sky. Sap is like a energizer for magic. It has been somewhat corrupted or corroded. You should be able to know what this does when you use this spell. When you have beseeched the dark sky before and had it shown you things, it gave you an answer that was clear. There is something unusual about this sap. It has been altered. It has been changed. It is altering. You don't know. It is almost as if it is in flux, so it's hard to pin down exactly what it is.
So I'm going to pour out... I have a flask of oil. I want to pour out the oil in the corner of this room and somehow fill that flask up with some of this super expensive, important stuff.
Touching, not a good idea.
This is it's probably why we're seeing so much fucking strange stuff around here at the moment. I really don't think it's wise
to have this stuff, this very expensive stuff.
Yes, very expensive military stuff. Meaning,
exactly.
If they find out you took it, guess who's gonna have a target on their head from the Empress for the rest of their days?
The only person that's gonna know that I did this is gonna be you. Writing about it. So as long as you don't tell people that I took it, no one's going to know, right? And then as we travel into this place, if we need an escape, something like that, this stuff could be useful, right? I mean, the military uses it, so why can't we use it?
Oh, okay. Sounds great. He's still writing.
Mr. Favor. Remember that name.
Favor. Terrorist? Question mark?
The ground below your feet starts to rumble a little bit. This weird pulsing vibrations. They echo through the walls of the chamber. That string of lights disappears. You are again cast in darkness. And you all hear the sound of ceiling above you start to crack and break.
Oh, shit.
Oh, gosh. Rocks fall. You all die.
Phlanagin, as you hear and start to see these fissures appear in the ceiling just as the lights go out and you're cast in darkness, you have a moment to react, to do something. What would you like to do?
There's two reasons why I want to potentially take some of this and then use a bonus action to roll out of this room. The first is I want it.
Which is good enough reason for me.
Yeah,
Go
fair
for
enough.
it.
But the second one is if this rock starts falling on top of this stuff, that could potentially explode us, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and try and grab at least one of these barrels and then roll out of the room.
Okay. You reach down, you look at the barrels. Each one of them has straps and stuff holding them in place in the crate. What I'm going to ask you to do with your action is to make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, okay.
If you get a 15 or higher, you can get 2 out. If you get a 14 or lower, you can get 1 out.
Okay. 11 plus 6, 17.
Nice.
All right. You quickly undo and you can pull out 2 of these tubes.
And then I'm booking it out of this room.
When you roll back out of the room with the 2 barrels, you see those fissures going all along the inside of this structure. Dwight, you just watched Phlanagin grab 2 of these barrels and back roll out of the room. What would you like to do?
As quickly as possible, because he's done it so many times, tears a page out of his book of a doodle of what he assumes the scepter looks like. He folds it into a little paper airplane and tosses it. And he's going to cast Locate Object
Oh, shit.
in hopes that the airplane will guide us in the correct direction to get to the scepter.
That's cool. I like that. That's very good.
And this little paper airplane starts to circle around your head and darts out of the room and starts to rocket down the corridor.
Follow that plane! And he's just going to book it out the room.
Perrin, is there anything specific you would like to do before you dip and follow?
Perrin that is torn between sort of not wanting to touch the stuff because they know how bad it is versus actually if the ceiling is crumbling, maybe I should move it. Yeah, I think Perrin is gonna see if they can get the swarm to pick it up and so they don't have to touch it.
And you guys start chasing this plane as it is dipping and diving through the catacombs. As you are moving forward, that sound starts to echo again. And each echo is a little bit louder, and each time there are these cracks that appear in the ceiling. Rocks start to tumble and fall. And there is a moment where you hear someone yell, "Get back, you fiends!" And a blast of energy rockets across your face. A bolt of lightning. And you see that mage, older looking now, haggard, his beard basically down to his feet, his hands barely able to hold his staff, and he is screaming and swinging it like a cannon, blasting arcane energy off after something in the shadows.
So wait, now are these fissures real even? We don't even know now. What's happening? I'm literally as I'm running with these 2 barrels, what's real? What's happening?
Save the students!
He's so cool.
It's cool.
There is a moment where the rocks above start to crack more. Stay in the light! And he stumbles back, and as he does, he fades.
Are there still the rumbling in the fissures?
Can everybody make a dexterity saving throw?
21.
I rolled a 2 for a 5.
I got 12 total.
Hey.
The ceiling splits above you. Chunks of old catacomb wall, dirt, and perhaps even some of the tiled floors above come collapsing in. Phlanagin and Dwight, you feel yourself entombed in stone and earth. Your body barely able to move, your breath short. There are maybe an inch of space between your face and chunks of stone around you. Perrin, you scoot back in time, and the entire tunnel in front of you is just collapsed. The passageway, gone. And somewhere in that rubble are Phlanagin and Dwight.
Oh, bollocks. Are you okay? Hello?
I'm gonna knock on the stone.
Please don't touch. Please don't touch. This is very unstable. We don't know.
Oh, you're alive. Good. Good. This is good.
Is this real? Is this real?
It feels awfully real. Can you move through it?
I'm holding on to these barrels. I don't know what I can do at this moment.
Perrin would tentatively try and scrape off some of the smaller bits at least, and then see, without wanting to, dislodge everything and it crumble more.
Sure. So here's how we're gonna do this. Everyone's gonna get an opportunity to do a thing to try to help you guys get out. This is going to be a skill check.
Okay. I'm going to do the insight, because trying to figure out logically which ones are sort of balancing on which ones and pulling off the ones that I think aren't structurally integral to the mound.
Sure.
Oh, a dirty 20.
You notice that there's a chunk of old column that, with the help of your little beans, your little scarabs, go to move it, and just as you do, you're like, oh wait, that's actually holding that whole part of the ceiling from not collapsing. So you shift tactics and find a couple other pieces of stone and start to dig in with the help of your beetles, pulling off not huge chunks, but creating gaps in the big chunks that people might be able to squeeze out of without the big chunks collapsing in. Phlanagin and Dwight, you guys, in this muffled haze, can barely hear anything outside of your own voice. And you both start to hear the chittering of hundreds and hundreds of insects as they start to make their way in the crevices.
Yeah.
And start pulling out little bits of debris. Dwight, what would you like to do to try to help in getting out, or whatever you want to do?
Honestly, I think Dwight, the only thing he can do is just give words of reassurance. And the only reason he can do this, with what you just said, is thaumaturgy. So he would just kind of just say calming phrases and words to try to send them to Phlanagin, and that'll be my last inspiration to Phlanagin for that. And then also, I don't know what I would roll, maybe a persuasion or something, just to keep everybody's stress levels down.
So Phlanagin and Perrin, you both hear Dwight as he calls out, giving some words of reassurance. At least he's alive. Phlanagin, your leg is pinned under a big rock.
You have inspiration.
You feel the insects. They're gross, but it seems like they are trying to help. And you hear the words of this tiefling that has so eagerly joined to help you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna reevaluate some stuff in life at the moment, because if I hadn't taken those 2 cans, the 2 barrels, I probably could have gotten. I would have been faster. I would have been more lively on my feet and not gotten trapped. It's a moment of introspection. Maybe don't be so selfish, right? Maybe don't try to always profit off of things. So that's a big one. I'm getting used to the bugs. It's actually, there's almost no part of me that finds it gross at this point. I'm very excited about the bugs. I'm going to let go of the barrels at this point. I'm going to kind of forget about them. My best option is to somehow stealth out of this thing, but I don't know if that really can be justified.
So you're an inquisitive rogue.
Yeah.
You are always looking for the missing piece of the puzzle. Even if you're not thinking about it, even if you don't realize that you are solving a problem, part of you is solving that problem.
Yeah.
And when Dwight called out with thaumaturgy, it did instill in you a feeling of hope, of calm, of like, okay, I'm not alone, buried for this moment entirely. But part of your brain noticed something else. It noticed that something else heard that call. Something that might also be digging through this rubble. And you might not in your conscious mind understand that. But I think somewhere inside you understand that enough to know that making a stealth check right now is not the worst decision that you can make. So with that in mind, please make me a stealth check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Very cool.
Hell yeah.
Scrambling, you hear the sound of rocks shift above you. So you slide back, the rock pinning your leg, you push it to the side, and you actually duck and bury yourself almost deeper into the rocks.
Yeah.
As a hand larger than a trash can lid, fingers first, a gauntlet slams through the rubble, basically where you were, fingers curling around rock, and starts to lift. And you hear a voice, deep, almost like it's coming out of a hollow jar. "Shall I dig deeper, master?" And you hear the voice of a young man. "Yes, servant, this is the spot. I can feel it. It's here." "As you wish." These 2 hands slam into the rubble, lifting it up. And Phlanagin, you see a creature standing above you. And above them, you see the sky. The creature, at first, it looks like a knight wearing massive plate armor that has been smoothed and rounded with strange, unusual affixed joints. But then you see there is no chainmail. There are no hinges on the faceplate. You don't know what this is. It is almost a man made out of stone and ceramic. And standing behind him, you see a very poorly dressed, haggard-looking young man, shaggy black hair, his eyes darting through the rubble like crazy. "This is it. I can feel it's here. It's whispering to me. Deeper, servant!"
So did I see them just like materialize while I was like digging through the rubble, like next to me?
It's like they dug down from above, but when you look up, there is no ceiling. You are no longer under the building. For a second, it stops. "Master, there are entities present." "Well, that's not surprising. This is a place that would draw entities. Do they look dangerous, servant?"
Like frozen up against a wall. I don't want to move.
And this creature stands up and walks down and puts its blank, almost porcelain face right in front of you, Perrin. Perhaps. But I need to find that book. The mage lost it here. It still whispers, servant. If they're going to be a distraction for you, just slay them.
No, it won't be any trouble.
As you wish, master. And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, a dirty 20.
21.
19.
I love that. We're so in sync, guys.
Really? 19, 20, 21? Are
Yeah.
you serious? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Phlanagin.
Do I see Huey? Who I assume is Huey?
It looks like Huey. Except now he is no longer a child. He looks like a man that has come of age. He also looks more frazzled, more haggard, more mad in his eyes. He does not seem to be able to see you at all.
Well, nobody can see me. So it's reasonable for me to assume Huey's not going to be a problem. The big scary golem creature is going to be our problem. So I need to focus on big scary guy. Yeah, I don't want to stir anything up. What I'll do is I'll take my turn by doing the my insightful fighting. So I'm gonna do an insight check against it. It's gonna do a deception check. Oh no! It's a 1, so it's a total of 6.
All right, well, I was going to say, he rolled pretty bad because he got a 7, which leads to a total of 5.
Oh no!
So I think he still loses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Okay, and then I'll hold my actual action as a reaction for if he does damage to somebody in my group, and then I'll throw my dagger at him.
Perrin,
Yes.
this creature is looking you down with a eyeless face.
I think Perrin is going to at least to see if, it's another kind of one of those illusions like Flanagan's been talking about and that we saw at the very beginning when we came down. I'm going to just send some beans to it to see if it goes through. Just wanna
A couple of your beetles fly up and they hit hard against the golem.
Oh no.
That's not good. That's nope.
I think I'm gonna use entangle. So I think as soon as Perrin sees that the beetles are thunk, thunk, like a fly out a window, they are going to just sort of send them en masse to try and get in the joints and the bits of the golem to just sort of stop it from moving, like trying to kind of freeze it in place a bit. DC strength 13, I think.
I'm sorry, that's a 17.
Shit. Damn it.
Good try.
Ah! I'm so sorry.
Dwight, still half buried, but able to see what's going on, not yet noticed. What would you like to do?
Have I heard? Can I hear Huey?
You can see everything. You just are not totally untombed yet.
I will. I will imitate Huey's voice.
That's good.
Servant, I think I saw it over there, pointing in a different direction and deeper into this, at this point, crevasse. Hoping and emphasizing the servant part of it.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me a deception check with advantage as well?
16.
Oh, it's not
Oh man,
bad.
you guys are getting lucky against this guy. When you say servant, goes from a fist going up to just push through Perrin's face and
Jeez.
yes, master. And it turns. It is the Guardian's turn. It is going to turn away from you guys into the darkness. And you see Huey Servant? Where? And he starts just digging through the rubble. He seems to be paying you no mind. See him stop, freeze. Yeah. Servant! I found it! And he pulls out of this rubble this strange and old-looking grimoire. And as he lifts it out of the air, all of this turns to dust. And you find yourself...
Oh, thank God.
In the empty catacomb. No rubble.
Oh.
Above you, or quite close to above you, is the natural history exhibit.
My favorite.
Perrin, you have all of the keys to everything connected to that wing, if you wanted to go up to that wing. But you also see that the tunnel does continue ahead to an area where there is a small bridge over a little cistern that is no longer used. And beyond that are a series of stairs that would lead you up to the main atrium or the other exhibits, including this new exhibit.
So we can either go up now and be more familiar with where we're at, or continue on in the underground area.
Once you get past that bridge cistern area, it is an area that you haven't really been in a long time, and you don't know what construction has changed above it.
And I'm assuming if we go up now, we'll be more exposed to people, obviously milling around and stuff.
Potentially.
Are we in the same spot where the cave-in happened originally, or have we been somehow transported somewhere else?
You are not where you were when you started. You have, through this, wandered quite a bit deeper into the catacomb.
Great. So I've got missing time, which is just the best feeling in the world. I love that.
Time flies when you're having fun, I suppose.
Perrin, are you having fun? Is this fun for you?
This is fantastic.
Dwight? Okay, look.
This is going to be the greatest story to come out of here.
You're messed up in the head, my friend. If you think this is a fun time.
You see his eye twitching as he's just writing, looking you dead in the eye, just like a kid in a candy store.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm having a bit, just a small smidgen of an existential crisis at the moment. Because the fact is, I did not put myself here.
Well, I did say that the sap is quite fucky stuff, so I mean, it could have been something from...
Yeah, I point to the two canisters. I'm like, okay, I'm not touching that ever again. That was it. I'm going to go back to, just regular drugs.
So yeah, what do you want to... Should we go up?
I am getting a little, I don't know, a little shook being down here, because most of the time when I'm down here, it's a nice stroll, and being alone. Now I've got freaking Huey Lewis coming in and attacking me over here every fucking 5 minutes.
Huey Lewis.
Well, what if one of us each take a canister to make you feel better?
I don't want that at all. I've learned my lesson. That was probably my fault for taking them in the first place.
Well, let's just, I'm gonna
Lean. Perrin's gonna lean their one up against the wall and just
no one will notice, it's too dark anyway.
I say we go up. I'm ready to not be down here anymore, especially if we keep losing time. I don't want to end up somewhere where I don't know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
You see an old ladder in one of the walls that pushes up into what you would know, Perrin, is basically interconnected closet room where the brooms and stuff are kept between two of the exhibit sections of your part of the museum.
All right, in that case, I'm going to hide my canister in the broom closet. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to tuck it in there behind some mops and some shit.
Dwight looks at it as a broom. It's like the mop is like hair for the canister. He's like, they'll never find it.
The three of you have climbed up and now stand together in that broom closet. It is crowded.
Sorry. Gotta hit the doorknob real quick.
Careful, wait.
Oh, sorry.
This is awkwardly close. Are we leaving this broom closet eventually?
I'm trying to get the doorknob right now.
That's my foot.
Crack it open. The three of you tumble out into the room. There is a brief moment where a couple patrons kind of like look at you guys curiously and then kind of turn away. This should be the natural history exhibit. All of the bones, all of the animals, nowhere to be seen. The walls are covered in ornamental paintings, old suits of armor. You're in the art wing. You're on the opposite side of the building that you thought you were on.
Don't get me wrong, Perrin. I love art. It's probably my second, maybe third area. But
I mean,
this is not where we were supposed to be, right?
it's not where I thought I was either.
It's okay. I too don't know where we are.
Well, as long as Dwight can confirm with us, then I feel better.
I think, we can still make our way above ground. It'll be much easier to get our bearings.
Yeah, I would
got,
hope so. I would assume so.
A bit muddled with the illusions. Anyway, yes, let's make a start, I suppose.
I think Perrin's very, very confused and is trying to kind of logically explain to themselves why this might have happened, but is keen to just kind of, like above ground, doing it on this level, just try and make their way to where the theft should take place.
You start navigating the museum, but everything is off. Like, the turns are wrong. It's supposed to be straight down the hall, left. There's no left. It's straight down the hall, right. We're
in the mirror world.
The art wing is just in the wrong place. And as you're walking through the halls, you notice that the people that are looking at the art, they're not as well dressed as the patrons of the gala. They're kind of just dressed like regular museum goers. Ordinary folk.
Does the museum have, you know how when you go to a museum it has like one of those paper map things?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any of those around?
There should be. In fact, you remember maybe, must have been 8 or 9 years ago now, they set up these new stands that had little maps in the museum in just about every wing so that people could find their way not just from the front, but from around. It makes a lot of sense.
Great.
Those stands are not there.
We're back in time, boys.
Are there people near us at the moment?
Yeah, there's probably 8 or 9 different people, all very casually kind of just looking at paintings. The only attention you really got was a quick turn from a few of them when you stumbled into the room, but nothing more than a glance.
I'm going to go up to, 1 or 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, hello there. I seem to have lost the gala that is going on. Could you point me in the direction of where I might find my other patrons of the gala?
They do not turn and face you.
Excuse me, sir, madam, either?
There is no response.
I tap one on the shoulder.
They quickly turn and look behind them. Turn back.
Didn't you say they looked at us when we fell out the closet?
They looked because the door opened. The door opened.
Yeah, because the door opened.
Oh.
It just seemed like some stuff tumbled out the jam.
We're outside of time, y'all.
Oh no.
Guys, I'm happy. Remember how I said I was having a smidgen of an existential crisis earlier? It's getting bigger. We're getting a big old nougaty bar of existential crisis now. I'm moving up.
A door opens on the far end of the exhibit, and a voice cuts through the air in a way that, at least for a couple of you, like, stings. You hear Victoria Lazaroff, and she is walking with a man maybe in his mid-60s, an older looking man, wild in the eyes. You know, I'm so excited to be bringing you on board. We haven't had an occult specialist at the museum in, I don't know, 30 years, at least since I've taken over, and we're very excited. Yes, I'm excited too. I'm quite excited too. Tell me, which old artifacts of the Empire are residing in the museum archives at this time? Oh, not many. We have a couple bits of pottery. We don't have the sort of funding to get, that sort of stuff, but maybe one day we will. But in the meantime, let me show you your office. We'll get you set up. If all things go well with this, in perhaps 5-10 years, maybe more, we'll be able to open more. I'm hoping we'll have a natural history exhibit. I'm just very excited that we're bringing more people on the team. Yes, I am as well. And you watch as they walk past you. And as they do, he slowly stops, turns back for a second. 1 minute. And you can see he's kind of like scanning the room.
I hide.
I think Perrin just doesn't move. There's like,
I am going to walk up to him.
oh.
And I'm like in front of him. I'm like waving my hand in front of him. I want to do an insight check to see if I recognize this old man.
Sure, make an insight check.
18 plus 5. 23.
Yeah. You do know this man. Occult and occultism have never been what drew you to this museum, but they are certainly a part of it. This is Hubert Golemon.
Golemon? Why didn't I put Hubert and Hubert together? So would Perrin know now, with the layout and realizing that we're kind of back in the past in some way, kind of be able to put two and two together as to how far in the past we are?
You don't know exactly when Hubert was hired. When you started working here, Perrin, it seemed like Hubert was on the edge of retirement. And that was 15 plus years ago.
Yeah, right.
You might not have known who was here first, Hubert or Victoria.
Yeah, real quick, I say, I shout out to the other two. Hey, guys, I got some news. Some bad news.
Peeks around the corner. Book out.
More bad news.
A very small smile creaks across Hubert's old, cracked face. And you can see his eyes go right to yours. I was wondering if I would see you again. It's been a long time. I thought you were a dream. Time to get to work. And he is going to snap his fingers and turn and start walking out with Victoria.
Oh, well, that wasn't, that's definitely bad news, yes.
So this Hubert. So he's a Gary, basically. He's got fired from the museum, wants revenge.
No, he's he took over from Victoria. He's the new director now.
So he's causing all this, probably for that book he's looking for.
Do I? Cause when I forgot to ask a little when this happened, but the book he held up, did I recognize that book for the brief moment that I saw it?
You can make an Arcana or a Religion check.
Oh, a 19.
It was an old atlas.
Oh.
But an atlas of powerful magic, of things like ley lines, of objects of resonance. Some might call it hippy-dippy occultist stuff, depending on their beliefs.
All right.
Hippy-dippy.
And you notice at that moment, silence. Utter silence. All of the sounds of the museum, of the people shuffling, of the little coughs and murmurs, fade. All of the people that are standing around you, eyes affixed on the paintings in front of them, motionless.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Part of me wants to just follow behind him and just talk into his ear the whole time, forever.
You little piece of... I'm gonna check you.
I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life. Well, either way, we can't get the Scepter of the Forgotten
If we're in the past, right? We need to get
in
back.
this time. Right, exactly.
So how do we get back?
I'm going to say something here. I'm going to hate myself for it.
Say it. Do it.
Guys, I think we need to go back down into the crypts. I think as we move forward in the crypts, we're getting closer to the time that we need to be. We're still in the past, right? Once we entered those crypts, we were in the past. Once we entered the crypts, as long as we keep moving forward down there, we move forward in the timeline. So we need to get to where this place becomes the place we need it to be, so we can get that staff, Scepter.
So you're saying go back down and then come up somewhere else and see what happens?
I say, yeah, we go down to the crypts, and we were about to continue on potentially to where the Scepter is. So we do that. And as we do, we prepare for maybe another psychic hoo-ha bullshit event to happen. And then we move past that, and hopefully we can get up to where the Scepter is, and then we can... I think that we somehow, when we went into the crypts, maybe because of the sap, I don't know. I don't know how this magic shit works, but I think somehow we got pulled outside of time and space, which is creepier to me than your bugs. I'm not gonna lie. It gets under my skin worse.
So what you're saying is, if the beginning of the crypts was the beginning of the timeline, if we get to our destination, we'll find ourselves in the present.
That's what I'm hoping. Yes.
Hoping. It's true. At this moment, I knew Phlanagin had lost his mind.
Well, we've got nothing to lose.
I really need to stop writing and talking out loud at the same time.
All right.
That's the only way. I mean, honestly, I could be completely wrong here, but it just makes sense.
I mean, it's a plan.
I think you should stay here.
What?
One of the people facing the paintings, they don't turn to you, but you hear their voice say that. And then another, yes, you should stay here.
Oh my god, that's so fucking
Well,
creepy,
I'm going downstairs. Goodbye.
Real quick, can I do a perception check for hors d'oeuvres, Cinder? Any snacks?
Any snacks?
Hors d'oeuvres.
You just see a bunch of people standing totally frozen, staring at paintings, their faces not turned to you, and you just hear them saying, you should stay here.
Okay, yeah. Scooby-Doo, feet running in the air, and then follow my companions.
I need all three of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Got 16.
17.
A 6.
Perrin and Phlanagin, you start running to the closet. Dwight right behind them. As you turn, Dwight, you feel something grab your hand, and one of these figures that was looking at a painting has shot their hand backwards and is holding you. They are still not facing you. You are looking at their back as their arm is twisting back, holding your wrist. You should stay here.
I'm gonna try a vicious mockery. Your hands are so ashy. Get off me. And then they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
That is an 8.
They take 1 point of psychic damage and have disadvantage. It says, is it attacks? Dang, attack rolls.
I love it.
You feel this arm pull you closer. Not facing them, but facing the painting. And as you are shifted towards this glorious looking landscape, in the painting, You very, very faintly at the bottom see a picture of a person. A person who looks very upset. Their face twisted in pain as shadows loom around them. And then you notice that the person holding you, where their face should be, is a splattering of paint.
No, son.
Perrin and Phlanagin, you guys get to the closet, turn back, and you see Dwight completely motionless, facing one of these painting walls.
So, is he still being held?
It almost looks like he and the figure are holding hands. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
17 for me.
13.
11.
Perrin, you are the first to react as you notice that Dwight is not responding to your calls.
In that case, I'm gonna run over to see the hubbub, because I think Perrin's just gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, come on, and then try and like pull. Do I see anything? Like, oh shit, his face is melting. Like,
Oh no.
His eyes, his pupils are like hyper dilated, and it's like he's staring into a tunnel. There is fear in his eyes, but his eyes are stuck on this painting.
so Perrin has like a little letter opener that they keep on them at all times, you know, for letters, and they're gonna pull it out quickly and just try and kind of like stab the hand that's holding, or like the arm that's holding on to Dwight.
Sure. Make an attack roll.
An 11.
You take your penknife and stab into the arm of this figure. The whole body jerks as if it's screaming, but you hear no sound. And that tiny little figure of the painting, the face goes from frightened to wailing. The arm starts to trickle this thick, acrid oil and like fall in big, thick beads on the ground.
Nope.
Roll for damage.
7.
Gets like doughy when you stab into him.
Like a clay, like.
Phlanagin, seeing all of this happen, what would you like to do?
I would like to run away.
Yeah, right. 100%.
Well, I don't want to get my brain sucked into a painting unless it's a very erotic painting.
Fair.
But you guys helped me out earlier, so I got to repay that. So, Phlanagin, he runs forward and he sees Perrin stab the arm. And on his way, he pulls out his short sword. And he's going to try and cut the hand off of the person holding on to Dwight.
Okay, go for it. Give me an attack.
I feel so bad doing it because I know obviously these people are like stuck in this magic too.
Nope, they're part of the problem. Get rid of them.
30, 20.
Yeah.
20?
Save me.
Yeah, that hits for sure.
Technically, I have 2 people next to this, so I get sneak attack.
Sure, yeah.
That is, wow, very low. 9 damage. And I'm specifically trying to cut the hand off.
It is not that hard to remove the arm as thick, basically like oil paint starts dripping out of this guy, and you hear a scream in pain, but not from them, from the figure in the painting.
Yeah.
And all at once, the other people that are in the room shift to face you guys.
Oh, no.
You can hear these like muffled calls, almost like a person trying to yell through like thick tarps. And they start lurching towards you guys. Dwight, you are somewhere else. The dark sky looms overhead, shattered star broken into 5 pieces, crescendoing down. You have had this dream before. You have been to this place in those lonely, cold nights when there was nothing that drove you forward but the story. there is comfort in finding a home. If you just a little step, just a little step forward, just a little press forward, maybe, just maybe, you could find that home. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
17.
As your face gets closer to the painting, something prickles at your neck. Just a little bit. It's not a voice, it's not even a feeling. It's like a instinct. This is not the way. And you pull out. You have your consciousness again. You see these weird paint figures starting to lurch towards you, and you notice the one that's right next to you that's like starting to collapse on the ground. You still have your movement and your bonus action if you want to do anything with those.
I believe it's like old 90s movie. Dwight screaming. He screams at the figure. He screams at Perrin. Perrin screaming at him. Everybody's screaming, and then we just book it for the
100%.
closet.
Okay.
They're trying to silence us. They're trying to stop the story. We can't let them. And he's just
I need each of you to roll me an athletics or an acrobatics check, your choice, as these guys get one turn to attempt to grapple you to help bring you into the wonderful world of oil paints.
oh gosh, this is terrible.
Oh, I only got a 9.
I got 14.
20. You can't silence the story, Cinder. You can't silence it.
Perrin, something holds tight to your arm.
No. Shit.
I will give you a chance. You have an action, or a bonus action, not both, to attempt to break free.
Okay. I think with the help of my beans, I'm gonna again try and stab at whatever is holding onto me and try and break free, as that seemed to help.
All right, make an attack roll.
I got a nat 1.
Oh no.
You stab into this thing, peel down part of its arm as it starts to spray this strange paint. Some of it splashes into your face. Phlanagin, you catch Perrin as they stumble back. The three of you make it to the closet, but Perrin, you are blinded until you get this thick layer of paint off of your face. You guys stumble into the closet, slam the door shut behind you, and have a tiny moment, and as you start to hear these little knocks on the door. Won't you stay?
No. Climb down.
Occupied. See ya.
Okay.
Dwight would take his jacket and try and tie it to like the knob, and then tie it to something stationary in this room. If there's like a pipe or something.
Yeah, there's like
that.
old
And,
shelving that's bolted in.
There's a canister of sap in this room.
There is.
Do we leave it in this quote unquote timeline?
Yes.
Dwight scoops it up. Go!
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to bring it up.
Fair enough. No, that's fine.
As you guys stumble your way down the ladder, there is again this vibrating sort of in the stone as you re-enter the catacombs, and for a moment start to catch your breath. Well, everyone except for Perrin, who has like paint all over their face.
I'm blind.
Wait, I have an ointment. I spill ink all the time. Hold on, let me just.
Okay. Oh, I'm blind forever.
Dwight, as you are using your ink remover and slowly rubbing away the paint, part of Perrin's face is just gone.
No. What?
Oh.
Just smooth.
I try to like reapply it and see what happens.
Is everything okay?
Perrin, how do you feel about eye patches? Is that a fashion statement you've always wanted to make?
Well, I suppose. Why?
No reason. No reason.
Can you? Is it not?
And parents kind of touching their own face, just.
You still have paint covering most of the other half of your face. And the part that is rubbed away, where you should feel not just the bone of your brow, it's just smooth and empty. You could, like, push in. You
only need one eye to read, right? You don't need both of them.
I think your ink remover is a bit strong.
Yeah, he just chucks it.
Okay, this is horrific. I will say, I do have blind sight.
With your sword.
Well, that's great because right now you have one eye that's covered in this paint still, and one eye that is just gone. Okay.
I have blind sight up to 10 feet, so now I'm just very short-sighted, guys. So it's okay.
Oh my!
They are absolutely horrified by this entire thing, but they don't really know what's happening.
Is it dark down there? Do we have any light at all?
I have my pen light.
So I do see what's happening.
Yes.
Okay. No. Okay. What? We just went up into the past. Then we got attacked by painting people. And now friggin' Perrin over here's lost half their face.
Excuse me, what?
We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it.
What do you want me to lie to Perrin?
It's not helping at the time. I love the truth, but not this truth.
Okay. Look, I just wanted. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This started to not seem worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to get laid. Pretty girl comes in, talks to me, says, "Hey, go get this thing in a place you've already been to." I've never been to the past. Okay, I've never been in a painting place. Never fought a giant golem thing while being trapped inside. Perrin, I'm very sorry that this has happened to you. Maybe we should just go back, find a healer of sorts, find someone that can take care of you. We just tell Vicky that things got a little too weird.
Yeah. I have a feeling that we can't really go back.
We can only go forward. Okay. Well, let's center ourselves. Let's find the most like centered spot in this place, and then we know kind of the way that we should be going to find the scepter. My paper airplane should have stopped somewhere during that. And
oh yeah, I forgot about your paper airplane.
Yeah, we kind of lost track of it when we were teleported through time. Everyone else is just cool with that. We're not going to make a big deal out of that.
I think the best thing we should do is probably just keep on going. And I need to find a first aid kit.
Okay. Let's assume that we're going to head forward in time as we move through this Undercroft area. If we come up at a reasonable time, is there a place in the museum that has a first aid kit or someone who could help you with a freaking missing half a face?
I don't think that's ever really come up in the first aid training courses that we do on premises.
None that I've reviewed, no.
But anyway, I think let's just, hopefully this is all an illusion, and we can just we'll get through it.
Perrin's gonna kind of just feel their way along the walls.
I'm immediately gonna go help, lead Perrin.
I'll be the caboose.
You're not far from where all of this change is coming from, this new exhibit. And Dwight, you just hear a sound, a faint whispering that no one else seems to pick up on.
Hey, guys, maybe we should just, because we don't know what's up there specifically, maybe we should just take a breather. And he just stands there, sits himself down, sits the canister down, and he's like, and he's gonna take out his book. I have some notes to go through and we can discuss before we figure out. And he's gonna go through basically the whole story as a song of rest.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You find like a little nook to hide in. Dwight, you play your song of rest. And as you're playing it, almost behind it, almost like you're trying to figure out if you're trying to push it out or let it in, that whispering grows and grows until it feels like it's coming out of every shadow just beyond the flickering torchlight.
You guys see his hands shaking as he's reading his articles or his research to you guys.
Phlanagin, can you please roll me a wisdom saving throw?
17 plus 1, so 18.
As you are taking your rest, you hear the sounds of someone walking, but walking as if trying not to be seen, trying to be stealthy. You all have affixed yourself into a little shadowy corner. You feel pretty confident that if someone is walking the hall, they're not going to see you. What you see walking the hall is you. You see yourself. A much younger version of yourself. You see how bad you are at moving sneakily, and how curious you are about this place. And you watch your form slowly make its way down the corridor until you hear another voice that says, "Oh, hey, who's down there?" And in this quiet moment of reprieve, amongst the cacophony and the chaos, you get to bear witness to the first time that you met Gary, the Night Watchman. As he steps
Nice.
out of the dark and goes to berate you, and you watch as he goes very quickly from big Night Watchman and sort of slumps his shoulders back, sort of paunches out his stomach a little bit. "Oh, hey there! Are you lost? Here, I think, I got half a honey cake." And you watch as you lie to him, saying that you are lost, but you notice something this time. Something that you didn't notice when you were little. He could tell. He knew you were lying.
Yeah.
He knew you weren't lost. He knew you were breaking in. And he decided in that moment to help you. And to give you a little bit of kindness. And you watch as the younger version of yourself, half a honey cake in hand, thinking you're getting away with this neat trick. Maybe one of the first times in your life that not just an adult, but an adult of authority and an adult in a position of power, at least in the regards to as a child, chose to almost belittle themselves into falling for your trick because they realized that that is what you probably needed.
Yeah.
You watch the two of you, younger you and Gary, start walking down the hall, and you can hear Gary start being like, "Oh, well, there's all sorts of, they've got a room full of insects." And you guys finish your short rest.
We miss you, Gary. I don't know if everybody else is ready to say it, but we miss you.
So I had walked off to go watch this scene. I'm going to take a few minutes during the short rest and try to remember Gary's wife's name.
Her name was Layla. You have only met her once before. One time, Gary forgot to bring his night lunch. And as you were scaling the wall of the museum to go in through a skylight that you had used several times in the past, you saw Gary leave to the courtyard of the museum, meet her, them embrace, and her give him his little box lunch.
So I've seen her. I know what she looks like.
At least from a distance. You've never spoken to her before, though.
Okay. With that, I wipe a few tears from my eyes, and I go back to the other two. So as I come back, ending the short rest, I just want to say, look, I know I lost my head back there a little bit. Obviously, we've gotten ourselves into something a little bit deeper than we were expecting, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys just helping me in this. Obviously, you guys are helping me get laid. We all know that, but in the very specific situations that we're in, you guys have helped me as well. And I just want to say thanks for getting my back, and I'll get your guys's as best I can.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're welcome, I suppose. I'm doing this for Victoria, but you're welcome. We're a team now. I wouldn't leave any of you behind or anything in the trenches, as it were.
I have an idea.
Oh,
So, this Huey guy,
Mhm.
right? He's the one who's causing all the issues, and something to do with a book. And then, what if Victoria wants us to put on a show to make something an issue out of all this, right? Well, what would be the biggest issue is if all this possibly came crumbling down.
and forgive me for being ignorant on the topic of sap, but you both seem to have some rather interesting abilities. Doesn't sap make those abilities stronger or something?
Well, a lot of the time, sap is used for bombs, weapons of mass destruction, and things like that. But I know some wizards and things apparently used to, use it for their spells. I don't know. I don't know if you need experience or practice.
And I know I saw earlier, Dwight, you were doing a little bit of soothing on Perrin. This sap wouldn't help you fix their face, would it?
We could try it.
Well, I don't suppose it could get any worse. So,
I'm sure it could get worse.
It's really hard to look at you. It's very hard to look at you right now. It's unsettling.
It's just an idea. I don't know how this stuff works, so I don't.
sorry.
You can tell me to fuck off if that's the case. I don't know magic and I don't know sap, and so if you put both of those things I don't know anything about, maybe I could come up with some crazy ideas.
That's way better than my idea. I was just gonna blow us all up. And he pops the lid off the top of the sap.
Mm-hmm.
I have healing word. I would, because this is the only way he knows how to cast spells. I would take some of the sap. I would write the ghastly, horrifying, disfigured face of Perrin needed to be fixed immediately. And Phlanagin found us a spectacular idea, and he takes that page and he lathers it up in the sap. And he says, "Hold still, sweet Perrin." And he places the piece of paper on your face and just starts massaging where the eye should have been. I'm just gonna roll healing word, and then I'm going to peel the page off,
Like a face mask.
but with writing.
When you take this sap and you rub it all over Perrin's face, this feels good. This feels really good. You realize, almost all at once, magic is way less limited than you've ever thought. It's as limitless as clay. It's as limitless as flesh. When you touch Perrin's face with the intention of returning it, pulling from some other place, almost like you for a moment are becoming a conduit of something, magic extends from your hands that you are not familiar with. You feel the paint that is still covering their face splinter and crack. And as it falls aside, you see Perrin's face is normal looking again. Both eyes intact. They almost look a little bit younger. The residue of the sap on your fingertips burns. But it is a good burn. You've been a storyteller all your life. You've always been the one to seek the stories. With this stuff, you could mold them. Perrin?
Yes!
Your eyesight is returned. You feel almost entirely back to normal. Do you remember why you decided to go into the field of biology? Why you decided to study bones?
I think yes.
Do you, though?
Um,
Something inside you is gone. You know a lot about bones. You might even care a lot about them. But that spark, that thing inside that drove you to this path, you feel it starting to drift away.
no.
But your eyesight's back. And Dwight, you have cured Perrin. You have done magic beyond the scope possible. Who knows what else you're capable of? You are a healer, truly. You know this.
Oh, Jesus.
Phlanagin, it worked.
It worked. Dude, you did it.
Yeah.
This stuff is awesome. We can heal. We can do so much stuff with it, right? Perrin, are you good? Are you good?
Well, I can see.
They touch their face and
I feel.
does that count as a long rest?
The gamble. The gamble.
Here's what I'll say. If you are down to potentially lose quite a lot more, I'll let you roll for it.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
It's always a gamble. That's why we play the game.
Fuck it. Yeah. Okay. I'll roll. I'll roll the dice.
What saving throw would you like to roll? I'm letting you pick.
I'm gonna follow the theme. I'll do a wisdom saving throw.
All right. Dwight, will you roll that wisdom saving throw for me?
Oh god.
If you are listening to Unbalanced Encounters horror one shot right now, and you are DM, I need you to write down what just happened and use it in your game.
That's that. Yeah.
18 plus 1, 19.
Okay. Is that good? I don't know if that's good.
Oh god.
Perrin,
Yes.
you feel long rested. You have your spell slots back, you have your abilities back, you have everything. And Dwight, you gain a first level spell slot, you gain a second level spell slot, and you have a third level spell slot.
Ooh.
Oh fuck!
Jeez.
Dang, son.
Now, I would like you to tell me specifically when you use any of these three. These are separate from your ordinary spell slots.
This is some pack magic shit.
The canister, by the way, guys, he is like holding on to it at this point.
Yeah, I bet.
He should. He's a healer. Dwight is by and far one of the most impressive people I've ever met.
I feel good. You guys feel good? I feel good.
Actually, I feel like I've had a bit of a
Yeah,
nap.
let's do stuff. Let's save the world. Is that what we were doing? We were saving the
Do
world?
you really think that you can fix this place up? It's pretty foul down here. Trust me, it is going to be the most magnificent museum the Emperor has ever seen. The High Scepter themselves will be so elated. It is going to be magnificent. And you sure you're going to be able to get all of this together? Just put me in charge, and I will take care of the rest. You hear and see the silhouettes of Hubert Golemont walking these catacombs, next to a military official, very well dressed. And what of the director and the rest of the staff now? They're all idiots. Fire them all, I'd say. Bring in your own guards, do what you want with them, I don't really care. Just let me have this exhibit. Trust me, if I can bring these pieces together, it will be so magnificent, even the Emperor will take note. You want to bring pride to the Empire? Let this museum be a beacon from which that light can spread across Astilla. You are left alone as they fade into shadow again.
Okay, technically
Who's he calling
he hasn't done
strange?
anything wrong, right? But also, I hate him more than anybody else in this entire world.
Yes,
Seeing,
100%.
seeing as how he is definitely the reason why your friend Gary's dead,
Do you think so? Do you think that he did something to Gary?
well, I mean, they wouldn't have this new grand opening if not for his new hiring, right? And all this sap showing up, doesn't he have something to do with
I
that?
guess there's nothing connecting him to Gary at this point.
Oh no, he's got cult leader vibes written all over him.
Oh, by all means, he's the douchiest douchebag I've ever seen in my life, and I want to connect him to Gary's death so that I can justify stabbing him with my dagger 14 times.
Such a specific number.
Beyond the flickering of your torchlight, the tunnel turns and opens like a mouth to old doors reinforced with new military locks, cutting off this new exhibit from the rest of the catacombs and any prying eyes. All of you cannot shake the feeling that as you step towards that door, you are walking a profound line. You are crossing a threshold.
I think Dwight is going to take an ink bottle and put some of the sap in that, as well as within his pin. He'd fill his pin up with the sap instead of ink.
Can I convince you to put some into my oil flask?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we can't really say no now, I guess.
This stuff is great.
Precious.
I think Perrin is still going to avoid it.
Phlanagin, you've spent a lot of your life backstepping. You've run away from things. You've avoided things. You are incredibly skilled at getting away. While you might be able to get away from this in a larger sense of the museum, there is this sense of dread that flows over you. What is going through Flanagan's mind right now?
Phlanagin took the job because he liked a girl. In the process, he's found some respect for one of the people that work here that he respected the least amount, probably. And he's made a new friend. And that's something that he never really has done before. Outside of Gary, who he had to stab in the back. And has been struggling with the fact that he basically had to kill his only real friend. And this entire trip into the past has been a reminder of who really was important to him. He wants to do the right thing for the right reason, knowing that at best he's going to do the right thing for the wrong reason.